Welcome back to another segment of Behind the Scenes of the Waltons. Today, I'm continuing my conversation with actress Leslie Winston, who played Cindy Walton. Please welcome back, Leslie. Those were some of the things when people talk about, I think that the first 5 seasons were the most precious in many ways because the whole family was there and the kids were young and there was just a certain charm to all of that time period. But I think sometimes some people are really quick to dismiss the later seasons once Richard left. And yet, when I look through some of those episodes, I just think there's some fabulous stories and some important stories that were told, and just some dynamics that were well worth, watching. I mean, not every episode was great, but I don't think every episode was great in the first 5 seasons either. It just happens when you do 220 something episodes.
Right. Well, I think something that the audience really enjoyed about, yes, I would absolutely agree. The first 5 episodes, they're the iconic episodes. And with you guys on the younger, it's your youngest. I mean, it just so family. I mean, nobody was going off on their own. It was, and the Depression era visuals and so forth. Again, iconic. But I think that our audience did enjoy the later seasons in the sense of I think they really enjoyed seeing the growth in the various characters. And especially, I mean, I came in kind of fully adult. But for you guys, for them who loved you so much from, day one, I think there was, a lot of love and sort of thrilled to see how you guys were growing and having mature relationships and heartbreaks and, seeing you as a young mother and the child from where you were before. I think they really enjoyed that kind of growth, that kind of stretch. I mean, they hung with us for 9 years. I mean, especially you guys.
Had you watched the series before you were a part of it?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I used to watch it with my folks, my family, every Thursday night. I started in 72 and I graduated high school in 74.
And where were you living at that point?
I was in Mason City, Iowa.
But you were born in?
I was born in Austin, Texas.
Okay, so how did the move from Austin to?
Well, what happened was my dad and mom were engaged and planning on getting married. My dad was in law school. My mom was an undergrad. She had senior year left. And so they were going to, they were going to finish college, basically. She was going to have her senior year. And my dad was going to do the last year of law school. And he was in the ROT. He's a farm boy. He literally grew up on a farm. He didn't have indoor plumbing until I think he was 13 or 14 years old. Yeah, it was quite something. Anyway, he was in the ROTC to help him pay for college. And the idea was once a month, you did your ROTC things and that was it, but really helped out with college. Well, during the Cold War, he got called up in the spring at the end of his second year of law school and at the end of my mom's junior year. So, and he had a 2-year stint. So they moved up the wedding. Mom didn't complete college. Dad had to put his third year of law school on hold for 2 years. And he was in the Air Force, and he was assigned to the Bergstrom Air Force Base in Austin. And the Bergstrom Air Force Base now is Bergstrom Airport in Austin. I was born on the base there, and they loved Austin, loved it. Both, two Iowa kids. But in the end, all their families were back in Iowa. Both sides of the families were back in Iowa. And they couldn't take the heat.
Mm.
It was just a little, and the bugs. Iowa is not known for bugs or snakes as Texas is. So that's what brought them back to Iowa. And another odd little thing about that, kind of, we're all so interconnected. So my mother was adopted.
Mm.
And she was adopted back in 1931, I think, when adoptions were not, most people didn't tell your kids that you were adopted, but that was not the case with my grandparents. They celebrated both her birthday and her adoption day every year, wide open. So, so they come back to Iowa. They move into married housing on the campus. They have one baby, another on the way, 18 months apart with my sister. And then Dad graduates, and he, throws the net out for a job as a lawyer. And he got picked up by a firm in Mason City, Iowa. And when my mom told my grandmother that's where they were moving, my grandmother said, "Well, that's where your parents are from."
Wow.
Isn't that weird? Yeah.
Hmm.
Not that she ever looked them up or, but she always said I could be walking by my birth mother at any time, and I don't know.
Wow.
But interesting that, Cindy had that storyline, and my mom.
So
Yeah.
you wanted to become an actress and headed to Hollywood, huh?
I did. I got into children's summer. We had a wonderful, of course, this is back in the 60s and 70s when the arts were so valued. Even in Little Mason City, Iowa, we had great arts programs, and we had every summer we had a traveling summer stock children's theater come. And actually my mom said, "I think you really like this. Why don't you try this?" So I did it the summer before my 5th grade year and the summer before my 6th grade year. And I got the lead both times. It was a really big deal, and the whole town came out. And I just was hooked. So all through junior high and high school, I did all the plays and competed in drama fests and things like that. I always had a plan. I always knew what I wanted. And I probably wouldn't have gone to college if my parents would have let me, and I would have just come to LA. But that wasn't an option. And since I didn't have any money of my own, I went to University of Iowa for 2 years, which was a fabulous experience. Beautiful school. I'm so glad they made me do it. It was really wonderful. But I realized that 2 years was enough. So I auditioned for UCLA theater program without telling my folks. And I was in a sorority, and I got housing in a sorority. Basically what I did is I made all the arrangements and then told them that I was going to LA. And I used UCLA as a stepping stone to get to know the town and make some friends. And then, but it was just a means to an end. But I did meet my husband there, so that was really great. And then in UCLA is 3 quarters. And so we'd finished 2 quarters of my senior year, and we were on spring break, and I got an agent, I got a movie, I got a miniseries, and I quit school. And that was really, I think my mother was thrilled and super excited. And both my parents were always so incredibly supportive. But the fact that I didn't get that diploma and I had 1 quarter to go almost killed my father, almost gave him an aneurysm, you know. So,
And then
and,
you got Cindy Walton,
and then I got Cindy Walton,
and that
and
was,
my life changed forever.
yes. And then you got all of us as well,
Yeah.
for better or worse.
That's the best part. The very, very best part.
There really has been. Yeah.
It really has been.
Yeah. I mean, you're one
Yeah.
of the few beyond the core family that has just really been integrated as part of the family. The fact that you are one of the most consistent people that is part of the fan events and things that we do, and that the fans have gotten to know you as much as they've gotten to know all of us. And, you were just such a good fit right from the beginning, and that it's not
Mhm.
easy with the show. As much as we hear people say, oh, I loved coming onto the set and everything, it's still to, to have a good time working together, but
Yeah.
then to have been able to continue that we all became close enough
Oh,
to want to do that.
to want to do that. I mean, we, in a way, we kind of can't get enough of each other.
Yeah.
You
Well, and I
know,
have been your
but-
house guest a couple times,
and
which has been
it's been
fabulous.
lovely and fabulous, and we've
Yeah.
had the best time.
Yes, and you're
The
going to come
best
be my
time.
house guest one of these days when
I-
you're ready to hop on a plane or a bus or a train or a something.
I would love that. I would love that. I just not enough words for me to describe what you all mean to me and what this has been in my life. It's just one of the richest elements of my life, all the way through from 1978 that I joined, 1979. I mean, golly, what are we going on? Over 50 years. That's pretty incredible.
I want to thank Leslie once again for taking time to come join me today and to share about her time on the Waltons and her life. I will be back with more behind the scenes of the Waltons, more Ask Judy, and hopefully some more special guests. Thanks for watching.